And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at one of the 4 expansions for Dominations, a game that I really like quite a bit. The 4 expansions here, this one is Provinces, and I'm ranking these 4 expansions as to my favorite of them, and this is number 3 out of the 4. This one I like, actually. I think it's pretty good. It's just not as good as the other 2, and I'll tell you why on those. But this is one that gives you a chance to attack, not the other players, but little provinces, little kingdoms that are revolting against you, and so you're going to whoop up on them. Now, as with all of Dominations, this is done in a fairly abstracted way. Here's how. In this expansion, you're going to be adding provinces. There are different provinces that you can add, and you're going to have them 1 per player per age. Well, they'll change per age if they've been conquered. So let's say I'm playing a 3-player game. I'd draw 3 random age 1 cards, put them here. Each province has a number. For that, I find the corresponding tile that has that same number on it, and I'm going to place that face up here. So what a player can do on their turn is they can decide to conquer one of these provinces. Rather than place the tile from their hand, they may not want to put out that ordinary boring tile. They may want to put out one of these tiles. They can then try to conquer it. Now, to conquer a province, you're likely going to need some of these cards here. On your turn, you can pay 2 resources of the same type to get these cards. And these cards are going to be adding to your military strength. And they'll have a random number on this different sides of them. And you can see that they are usually 1s and 2s, but there is the occasional 3 thrown in there. And so you'll be adding these to your hand. I don't think there's a 4 in there at all. They're just 1s, 2s, and 3s. If you decide to attack a province, you are going to see what the value of their defense is. So this one here starts with 2 dice, plus it will draw 2 cards. Now these cards can be anywhere from 0 up to 4. I got lucky here. I drew 2 plus 1, so this is a total value of 4. That's a total value of 6, much more deadly. Now the player will then play enough conquest cards from their hand to conquer the province. If you don't have enough, you can pay resources to immediately buy the cards you need. You can also pay 1 influence for 1 more strength, which is a very expensive thing to do. But if you lose the battle, you lose all your influence. And not only that, the cards that were drawn stay here, and the next person to fight it will draw 1 more card. So it's a little bit harder for the next person. However, if you win it, you get several bonuses. First of all, you put this tile out instead of the normal tile you're going to put. Secondly, you get the bonus listed here. This gives you 3 victory points and immediately gives you a mastery card with a value of 3 that no other player possesses. Pretty good. The one below it says you get 5 victory points plus 3 yellow, plus you get another combat card. So that's pretty great, and you'll see that they get even better as you go up in value. Like here, this is from age 3. I get 5 points plus 1 point for every notice in the civilization tree. This is 15 points plus 12 red or 12 orange resources. This is 15 points plus I can immediately upgrade a purple or blue city. Now you do notice that these are much more difficult to do. 8 defense plus 6 cards. Although this one also can be bought. You can just use 13 resources to get it rather than attacking it. Now, if you do not conquer the provinces by the end of the round, then something will happen to the players. For example, all players' remaining trade is reduced to 0 at the end. Here, each player must destroy a purple or blue city they possess. Each player loses a point for each red and orange city that you have. The player with the most mastery cards loses 12 victory points. So that's pretty much what this expansion is going to be focused on. You're going to have these. If they go away, and then you'll be replacing them with an age 2 card or age 3, depending on what age you're in. There's also 6 new technologies that have been added to the game that you can buy, all costing 3. Corsairs, which lets you pay 1 yellow for an attack card. Or every time you conquer a province, you get 2 attack cards. So that's pretty good. Conscription just gives you plus 3 to your attack value, or 6. So if you're going to be attacking the provinces, conscription is a good one. By the way, all of them in this one have 1 black side to them. Espionage, when you conquer a province, get 5 green or 10 green. Purple, when you complete a Lotus, get an attack card, or 2. Siege engines, when you conquer a province, you can spend a influence to get 2 attack, or spend an influence to get 3. It's my least favorite of text because I hate spending influence to do anything. Influence is really valuable. Or just get victory points every time you conquer a province, or 4 victory points. And that's kind of what these texts are going to do. There's also a few things that they add in this expansion for compatibilities with dynasties and hegemon. There's a few extra pieces for that, but this is what you got. All right, so the box here comes with stickers that you put in it so you know where to put everything. Like, oh, this is where I put these. There's a lot of more cards in this one. All the different tiles in this have numbers on the back, and you just kind of go through and grab those numbers. Oh, I'm going to be using province number 9. Well, then here it is, and I mean, they look the same. I actually wish they had maybe put something on these to show that it was that particular civilization, because once it's out there, it just looks ordinary and boring. There's like no flavor to the tile at all. But that's it, you know, like the Aztecs. They could maybe put something about the Aztecs on the number 9 tile, but that's pretty much my only complaint component-wise, except I will say that the one hegemon tile that comes with this for the hegemon expansion is missing the symbol on the back of it. It belongs to the city set, and instead it's just kind of a blank tile, which is unfortunate. Now, I like these expansions. I'm not sure that any of these expansions is quote-unquote necessary for the game, but this one adds like a goal that you can go for. You can start buying cards. As an aside, a problem I have with this expansion, and with all 4 of these expansions actually, is they almost feel like an afterthought in many ways. So there are going to be questions about these, like how does this work, how does that work, and the rules just don't address that at all. I felt like they might say, well, in this case, in this, like for example, in here it says on your turn, the rules say you can spend 2 influence to buy 1 card. Can I do it multiple times? I think you can. It would be really hard to conquer these things if you could not do that, but it's never clear about that. And I feel like that's a question someone would have asked right away. And also the misprint in here, it just seems kind of like it was a rush job. That being said, I like the concept. Yes, at the end of the day, I don't really care about the tile that you put out. I doubt anyone's attacking one of those to get a yellow city. They're attacking it because it gives a really cool bonus, and that's what's neat. And yes, you have to input a lot of resources to get the attack cards, and there's a bit of a push your luck aspect, but you should never attack a province if you don't have a way to defeat it, because the loss of all your influence is staggeringly horrible, unless maybe it's turn 1, you know, era 1 where you have a little bit of influence. But later on when you have 20 influence, no way am I attacking something unless I know I can defeat it. And it's not really a lot between the players in here, except sometimes someone will attack a province you were about to, which can be very frustrating because that's a lot of points and a cool special ability that you didn't get. And the game tells you you should attack these provinces, because if you don't, they have those negative things that happen to all the players. Now, I will say this. If you are concerned about this negative stuff and you don't like that, then just don't play with this expansion. If you play with this expansion, you're likely to have at least one person at the table who's going to want to conquer the provinces. So that's usually not a problem. But these negative things are there. It does add a little balance to the game. So this adds a little, the tiniest drop of flavor to the game. But it does give you another action that you can do, like an attacking thing, which is fun. It's fast. It's simple. A little bit of luck involved with it. But I thought it was worth, you know, playing with. This is not one I would play with all the time, but if I want to add something extra to the game and give you another thing you can do on your turn, the trade routes lets you build the routes, which is interesting, but I think this one has a little bit more of a fun factor to it. Dice Tower Judgment approved.